Hey there, everybody. My name is George. I'm the founder here at Extension Ecom. We currently support over 31 businesses with their advertising strategy on Amazon, and I'm going to walk you all through how I would build out Stella and Chewy's ad strategy for their beef bone broth product here. Never interacted with or worked with Stella and Chewy. As a disclaimer, this is just what I would do if we were to work with them. So the first thing we need to do is grab our ASIN and then some competitor ASINs. You can see for the most part, it is just beef bone broth for dogs. However, I have some powders in there, and then I also have some bones in there. And I think it's beneficial to have a couple different things just so that you can broaden out the keywords and understand really where that market's at. So next thing we want to do when building out an ad strategy is get some keywords to work with. So we'll navigate over to Cerebro, and we're going to take these products that we've identified and put them into Cerebro. Now, if you're wondering, hey, how the heck did we end up getting those products in the first place? Pretty straightforward. I just searched for beef bone broth for dogs because that's what Stella and Chewy is selling. From there, I just went through all these listings and snagged the ones that I wanted to analyze. Personally, I go for the top organic placements, A, so that you aren't, charging companies that are trying to, grow the cost for that click, and B, because in theory the highest appearing organic products will have the most keywords indexed for them, which will give you the most data to work with. And you can see here that this is coming out to 12,600 words when we do this search in Helium 10, so it's more than enough data. From there, we really just export the data and we can start to dive into the raw keywords. So here's kind of the raw keywords spit out. We have the search volume, we have the keyword phrase, and I just have everything in one place. So what we want to start doing is thinking about the funnel, right? So within the funnel, we have the loyalty portion of the funnel, we have the purchase portion of the funnel, and we have the consideration. So loyalty is going to be really any shopper who loves your product, right? So they bought from Stella and Chewy before, they enjoyed that beef bone broth, or rather their pet did, and they want to buy it again. So we need to be visible, and we also need to provide them with a reminder. So the way that we become visible for loyalty is going into our keyword data and seeing what searches are being done for the Stella and Chewy brand. So we go ahead and look up, what terms are relevant for Stella and Chewy. We can see here Stella and Chewy bone broth. We can see Stella and Chewy bone broth for dogs, Stella and Chewy broth, toppers. Let's see what else we got here. Just the brand name in general. Those would be good to be on. And I'm sure there's probably other ones in here. And what we could do is we can just copy these and we can build out, keyword segments, right? And we can paste them here. And it looks like I actually missed that one on the first time. So that's a good one to add in. Now that we've kind of gone and built out our loyalty funnel, which is just everything that shoppers are looking for, or now that we have done the keyword research rather, we can start to look at the purchase portion. So the purchase portion of the funnel, we want to be thinking about the shoppers who are looking for our exact product. So what do we sell here? Well, we sell a beef bone broth for dogs. So we really want to identify anybody who's searching for that beef bone broth because, again, they're ready to buy it. It's a very specific search. They just need to be presented with a quality product detail page at the right price, and they'll make the purchase. So when we're doing the keyword research here, we then want to go through and say, okay, who is actually searching for beef bone broth, right? And I'm just gonna do it like this, but the other way, if you didn't want to do filters, is just to go down the list. So we can do it either way, but you can see here beef bone broth for dogs. Then we have beef broth for dogs, beef broth bones. Oh, those are bones, so actually we don't want that one. Dog beef bone broth. And I believe there's another one, but for the sake of this video and time, we'll just grab these two, right? And then we would say, hey, here are all of our beef bone broth terms that if anybody's searching this, we want to win because that's our exact product. Next up, we can obviously broaden that out slightly. There's going to be a ton of people that are searching just for bone broth for dogs, but without flavor, right? So they're flavor agnostic. They're just kind of searching for anything bone broth related. They might want chicken, they might want duck, they might want beef, they might want turkey. Who knows? But really what we need to do is just find out what all those shoppers are searching. So we'll just do bone broth this time. And we can kind of go down the line now and grab anything related to bone broth, right? So bone broth dog, bone broth dog, bone broth dogs. Yeah, dog bone broth, pet bone broth, right? All these are flavor agnostic. We want to grab these. We want to transfer them over here. And you can see I went a lot more in depth and just grabbed everything related to bone broth for dog. So next up, if you could remember, we looked at some powders. And I think powders are beneficial to look at because people that are buying a powder, they might consider a liquid, right? Because, I mean, they're relatively the same thing. So we want to look at those shoppers who are looking in your market, but not for your exact product at this time. Because A, maybe they changed their mind. They're like, yeah, I was looking at powders, but this liquid looks awesome. And B, they might want to buy from us in the future. Maybe they buy that powder, their dog doesn't need it. And they're like, okay, I still want to do this because it's healthy for them. I just got to switch up the type. So I'm going to move to liquid now. And then maybe they test out liquid. They go to loyalty funnel. They search for a brand they saw us previously. They're like, hey, still on Chewy's, it looked pretty good. I just decided to go with powder. Then they click and then they buy, right? So this all works together. So if we wanted to maximize this consideration portion, well, that's really going to be everything besides people looking for our exact product, right? So for that, we want to look at bone broth powder. We want to look at any food topper terms. I believe I went and got gravy. The gravy toppers are mixed into the food topper. So again, once more, we're just going to go ahead and input into this, see what gets spit out. And then we're going to go ahead and snag those keywords. And for the sake of the video, just being a little bit more concise, I'm not going to show me doing all of it, but we could grab dog food toppers liquid, gravy dog food topper, pet food toppers for dog, dog flavor food topper, food toppers for dogs. There's a powder term. We could put that under the powder stuff if we wanted to. Anyways, we'd grab these and we put it under our food topper. So now we've gone ahead and identified all of the keywords we might want to look at, right? So we've identified loyalty keywords, we've identified purchase keywords, and we've identified consideration, right? So if I were to label these would be our loyalty. These are people who are looking for our brand actively. And we just need to be visible. And if we aren't visible and, Open Farm shows up or Primalvore shows up or Native Pet shows up, we might miss out on that sale. Next up is going to be purchase. These are those people that are looking for our exact product. We want to be visible to them 100% of the time if possible. And then these are all the shoppers who are considering products within our market, but maybe not beef bone broth, right? Maybe they're looking at chicken, maybe they're looking at duck, maybe they just don't know what flavor they want. We want to be in front of them. We can drive a lot of sales here. Again, for powder, maybe they want a liquid this time. Maybe they want to switch it up. And then for toppers, it's because, a bone broth is a topper, right? They have the kibble, you put the bone broth on top. So now we have this, we can start building out our loyalty campaigns. So here we have all of our Stella and Chewy terms that we've identified, and we can have them on exact, and we can have them on phrase, and I wouldn't really recommend broad for this. Then we have loyalty, which is purchases remarketing. So purchases remarketing is a great way to say, hey, you purchased from us 60 days ago, 90 days ago, 180 days ago, 365 days ago, and you haven't bought again. You should really buy from us. We have a great product. And then what will happen is maybe they just forgot, maybe they got busy and didn't buy again, maybe they tested something out and it wasn't as good and they want to come back. Well, this is going to be a great funnel that goes on and off Amazon and drives that traffic back to you. Next up, within the purchase portion of the funnel, we have our keywords here, all of our beef bone broth for dog verbiage for exact, for phrase, and for broad. And this is going to be a great way to start to capture anybody and everybody within the beef bone broth space. Now for broad, I would recommend having your CPCs a lot lower than your exact and phrase because conversion rate will decrease, just the nature of it being broad. And then also you're going to be wanting to double check, triple check negative terms here because this is going to go crazy and just be all over the place. Next up is going to be ASIN targeting. So really what we want to look at here for ASIN targeting is a little bit different than the keyword research. We just want to go ahead and look at these, not shoppers, these competitors, and we just want to see like who is out there that we have some sort of competitive advantage over, whether we're cheaper or we have a better rating or whatever. In the case of Stella and Chewy's, it's going to really come down to price because they are a low price product. In knowing that they're a low price product, right, 0.56 per fluid ounce here, we want to go try to identify everybody else who is more expensive than us. So we're $8.99 for 16 ounces, and these guys are $19.99 for, how many ounces are we looking at here? 7. So we're way cheaper than Wild Acre, right? So we could definitely target them. Native Pet's more expensive. Merrick is probably right around the same price. Merrick's slightly cheaper, so we then want to look at our star ratings. Do we have an advantage here? 4.2, 4.2. This is pretty neutral. We could target them, maybe not. It's really up to, it's really up to the media buyer to make that decision. We could go after Primavore here. They're looking a little bit pricey. And you would just kind of go down the list. And then when you identify someone, you just control click it out, snag the race, and you're good to go. So you can go through page 1, page 2, page 3. I really didn't put that much time into this just because it is a video. And I didn't even correct this, so I'll just call this ASIN targeting. But really, we just want to identify any and all competitors. Next up for consideration, we're segmenting out our campaigns here. So we're not just going to lump every single term into one. Typically that leads to inefficiencies, and it's also more difficult to manipulate the budget. And then also if we have a limited budget, we'd probably want to launch them in this order, right? We want to launch bone broth verbiage first, then food topper, then gravy, just because this is the closest to our product, and this is a little bit further, then that's a little bit further. But really here what we're doing is exact phrase and broad once more. Keep your broad CPCs low, and again, we're just trying to expand the funnel. We're trying to capture more shoppers, right? You can see the search volume here is 22,000 versus this is 2.2. So this 2.2 thousand, this might get you to, a 6-figure run rate on Amazon, but really this is what's going to get you to the 7-figure run rate. Now, that being said, it's going to be way harder to compete here because it is broader versus this is your exact product. So that's why we kind of tier them out, right? Best ROAS, loyalty. Second best ROAS, purchase, and then worst ROAS is consideration. So anyways, we'd probably launch these kind of in, order. And then as the data comes in, we can optimize and launch more or pull back. So once we receive that initial data, we want to take our top performing ASIN targets from sponsored products, and we can move them into sponsored display. So really the only key difference here is this is going to be sponsored display or DSP inventory. There's going to be some down here, and there's going to be some over here. Let's go ahead and grab a different listing because that one is just not showing it. Let's check out Open Farm. Of course, for the video, it's not showing us the ads we want to see here. All right, let's just do pet bed. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like for whatever reason, my Chrome is not receiving anything besides the STEM toy ad. All right, well, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see, but sponsored display could have inventory here, directly below this add to cart, and then directly below this about this item. So that's a great way to get more traffic to your listing versus sponsored products could get this one, and then it gets all of these down here. So it just gets you more inventory, and also sponsored products goes on to keyword searches. So we can upgrade the best performers there and drive more traffic and try to steal it from our competitors. And then for a brand like Stella and Chewy's, they're definitely going to be wanting to run sponsored brands and sponsored brands video. So really what we would do is we take their top performing sponsored products keywords and graduate them over to sponsored brands and sponsored brands video. And now they're kind of running a full funnel approach, right? And they're running it in the most efficient way possible. From there, that product's taken care of, and we want to expand to the entire catalog. So yeah, really that's how you'd approach building out an ad strategy. Again, you're going to take your product and you're going to identify 9 other competitors, run that through Helium 10, and then you're going to break up your keyword research into brand keyword research, to your exact product, and then to products within your market, but they aren't exactly what you're selling currently. You're going to segment those out into loyalty, purchase, and consideration-based campaigns. Once done, you're also going to do some ASIN research to search and look at who do we have a competitive advantage over in the space, build out an ASIN targeting campaign, run those campaigns, get the data, and then graduate the winners. So overall, that's everything for today. And if you're still confused, feel free to leave a comment or reach out directly. Like I've mentioned, we're running these for 31 businesses on Amazon, so we have a ton of experience with building ad strategy and would love to help grow your business as well.